Yeah.
Yo,
What's up?
I just need to clarify something that I said in either the last episode or the episode before.
Go ahead.
I said something to the effect of, I don't wear my MAAP bibs to the coffee shop, which is, I don't know why I said that because that's entirely untrue. I wear my MAAP bibs to the coffee shop, not all the time, but somewhat regularly. I just wanted to get that out there.
I mean, you're always just afraid of getting like your map bibs dirty and like your map socks and everything. Like, I thought it's performance wear. You're treating it like fashion.
Yeah, I know I've fallen into the trap. Just wait till I get the pause puffer. I'll never wear it,
Dude, it's like
but I'll have it
a middle schooler with like an Abercrombie shirt that they only wear like to the dance or something.
on
And
like picture day or something.
yeah, they think it's like it's gonna like get them a girlfriend or something, and they spray it in
I'll
cologne.
I'll only wear it to like the normie race, and I'll just like in the parking lot, I'll have it on when you like ride around like the row of trucks. When you ride around the row of trucks for a bit, and I'll take it off, and then that's like the only time I'll ever wear it if I were to ever
I
get
only
one.
I can only wear my 500 plus bib set at my A race and then just completely tank out after like 8 miles.
Yeah, I mean that's what happened to me at the last normie race we did. I lasted 12 miles. And then you're just like you ride up behind me and you're like smiling. You're like, "This is great. It's so fast." And I'm just like, "Hey,
Dude, hitter coated.
man,
Dude, I was watching that video you told me to watch, the GCN, how they got robbed leaving Traka.
dude." So I hadn't seen or even been fed a GCN video in a very long time. And it makes sense. That like there's some videos and I'm not subscribed to them, but so it makes sense that I wouldn't see something for a while, but it also makes sense that that's the video that makes it through is, the getting robbed. And what an insane video. Or I mean at least the first segment. The fact that it was their little news bit and they go back to regular news. I that was It was such a Twilight Zone piece of content for me. Just so that they make the guy go on in the context of their news program, and like the poor guy obviously feels embarrassed, and like ashamed, which he shouldn't, but that is how anyone would feel, understandably. And then they just have to he's sitting in between the two guys and they're just looking at him, and I don't know, it just felt so bizarre. And then they have the ironic zooms into his face, and I was like, I can't believe they're actually like, I feel like if anything this deserves its own video, or maybe don't make a video on it, but I guess you kind of have to, but like also you don't have to. I don't know. It was a strange one, man.
Yeah, I love it's episode GCN show episode 643. We got robbed. And the thumbnail says moments before disaster. And just so you know, that's not performing as well as another recent video, racing the UK's toughest gravel. How does it compare to America? Like, I mean, it's like the person who robbed them probably just got fed too many of their videos and was just like, I'm going to take all of your equipment away.
Yeah, right. Doing like real cycling content creators a favor. It was after that shoe video debacle. I don't know if you remember that one. I don't know if I sent that one to you, but they made a video about testing shoes and they got their methodology completely wrong. And Peak Torque, who's a YouTuber that I like, also British, he made a video on it. And of course, his video was normal and respectful and like from an engineering point of view, and wasn't toxic or flippant. But of course, like everyone goes down, like starts just like roasting them in the comments and all that. And they had to take the video down. But that might have been like the final straw of just videos of just pure like ads, just advertisement. The new Orbea, the new Canyon Grail, the new whatever. I think, I don't know. Yeah, someone might have been doing the cycling world a favor on that one. Poor guys.
I mean, I feel like it's always been your destiny to be locked up abroad and certainly involved in
Yeah.
some sort of like regional crime, crime circuit where you're robbed and left with nothing. I feel like you've been bracing for that your whole life. So it's like,
It's
it,
almost shocking that I haven't been locked up abroad yet, and I'm not going to go into my history. I'll save this for the my stable cyclist podcast. I can go into to why I should have been locked up abroad, you know. But yeah, maybe I need to get in on this ring. It is nice that they threw out the passports.
yeah. Who watches GCN? That's the question I have for you. Like, who's the average cyclist? To me, it's like somebody that's like walking the aisles of Walmart and like they see a hybrid and they're like, that looks cool, but maybe I should watch a video on this. And then it's
Right,
like,
it's new people because like not, my dad doesn't even like dads don't even watch GCN anymore. At one point maybe they did. Or it's like you watch GCN when you have to look up how to properly adjust your headset and that their video is the first one that comes up maybe, and then there's a Park Tools one. But I think maybe the GCN one is a bit shorter. And like that's when you watch a GCN video and then you start getting fed the loop.
yeah, I feel like if you watch GCN, you're probably an NPC.
It is it is a marker of an NPC. There's a few others. There was like some bike check NPC videos that came out um in the wake of Traka, like from bike radar or something. There's like a couple of them, and it was just yeah. I mean, and it was just very little substance, which is fine, I guess. But it was just like let's look at people's bikes. And then there was a Lachlan Morton one. He seemed very very tired. And then he had to explain that his wheel exploded or something. They also actually another callback to a previous episode. We were talking about Subarus, and I brought up the classic like Colin McRae like bike, the paint job on the old rally car, and someone had that paint job on one of their bikes. I saw, so I guess I did learn something by watching an NPC channel.
Yeah, GCN's just like depressing because it just you can be like, I really like cycling and it's such a big part of my life, but then you watch anything and it's like, yeah, it's all just to sell shit to idiots. Like,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, the Ben Delaney bike checks have a little more heart in them, I would say, because it is just it's not produced in a way that these other ones are. It is just him walking up to a bike with his GoPro or whatever it is he has, and he's just spinning people's cranks, and like, oh, so they have this different crank set on theirs. Oh, this guy's riding 38s, you know?
yeah, it's like the zip wheels guy. I don't even have anything to say about it. It's just like, I mean, the bike check is sort of a genre that's really about to get very bad.
Yeah, I need to put out my behind the scenes video from Rattlesnake. It took forever because I didn't have space on my computer, and then my software went schizo on me, and I had to reformat all the videos. This isn't a notes apology, style excuse, but I do have some fun weird bike check stuff on that I need to get out. Maybe it's just now I'll just release it like the week before Unbound, which is like what, next week, in 2 weeks? I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, you haven't released it because you're a bad privateer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I don't have a crew. I mean, there's just you and my parents, I guess.
Yeah,
um,
you need to have a team to get mad at and like blame them for things. Like, guys, the team's working behind the scenes to get this out to you within 48 hours.
Maybe I should have just lied about getting robbed
I mean,
and been like, "I'm sorry, I got someone pulled me over and faked being a cop and then just got my GoPro and then like, you know, ejected the memory card and threw it out into, the Central Texas brush country."
they took it all.
And
Even the new drone, they just took it all.
yeah, Even the brand new drone.
I mean,
Yep.
truly just the most depressing like thing you've seen and like
I mean, I just don't understand why it needed that presentation. It was so sad. And it was framed around like, if you have any information, please. No one has any information. They're never getting their stuff back. This isn't like America's Most Wanted. Like the call center is waiting for any tips you have. No one is. First of all, no one in Catalonia speaks Spanish or Catalan. Okay, no one that would know anything about this is actually from there and speaks the language. So they're not gonna get any tips.
yeah, I think to me GCN like they're obviously good passionate people and nobody deserves to go through that, but like it depresses me because they GCN was owned by Warner Brothers Discovery and then they just like gave it back for like $1, cuz like
Oh yeah, there was something like that happened. Oh yeah.
so there's just like you can tell that they're really creating passionate content, but it's all the same, but it's also just like it's as depressing as like outside and Velo or something. I don't know. They're just big cycling media. Just I'm just distrustful, I'm against, I'm against mainstream cycling media.
Yeah, and that's why this podcast is better than Bonk Bros, as claimed by one privateer so far. Um, Probably others, but maybe they're too scared of big cycling media and big cycling podcasts to speak out.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Chase Work, if you're listening, now is when you start your real VO2 max efforts right now, and then I'll bring up later in the pod when you can go back to zone one or whatever, however that works.
You're just like, I'm friends. Hey, privateers, I'm really good friends with Chase Work, and he told me he's going to attack at mile 27 of Unbound.
Man, speaking of Unbound, the deal we have for the finishers of who gets to be on this pod for the post Unbound episode, that was what placings were those that we were saying?
Attention, lifetime Grand Prix athletes. If you finish at place number 41 at Unbound, which distance?
200.
You will get 15 to 41 minutes on our podcast.
Yep. For what was it? 40th place for men and like 20th place for women.
Yeah, we're just like, we want to celebrate the middle of the pack here. We don't, I don't know, top 10, who cares? Like, best shape of your life. We need somebody from the middle, someone that didn't have a great day, but has some stories to tell.
Yeah, it's like, you know, going back to the Traka content, just like the last bit of Traka we'll ever talk about for another 11 months. But someone like Maddy Nutt's video is like the best video, I thought, from all of that. It's one of the best ones I've seen in a while, I feel. That's like what you want out of a recap video.
Do British people call themselves private?
I think they have to now. I think they might have been against it at first, and it was just it was like an American phenomenon. But then maybe once they realize, cycling, I mean, especially in England, it seems like pro cycling in England is somehow even more dead than it is here.
Privateer, isn't that what Tom Pidcock is?
Q36.5 humor.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Maddy Nutt's video was just like, show us who you are. We don't care how you did in the race, but like, tell us about your day.
Yeah, it was great. And even my dad watched that video, and now I'm never gonna be able to complain about being hurt and not wanting to ride again because she rode with like torn ligaments in her arm for over 200 miles. So.
Yeah, and then she was talking to that guy who looked like the plug.
Yeah. Yep. Getting interviewed by the Traka Rave plug afterwards. That guy seems cool. A lot of characters out there.
Yeah, there was another guy that she referenced in the video, and he had a video too. I don't know if you watched that one. like some guy named like
Oh,
Justin or something.
are you talking about Josh Reed's
Oh
video?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
He did the long, long one. His stuff is good too. See, these people have decent kit, cameras and I don't know, drones, whatever, harnesses, uh, those gyro holder, whatever. But that matters less than just it being watchable. And your content being watchable, to me, it's usually the more polished it is, the less interesting it is. And so I like the stuff that feels more stream of consciousness, that doesn't have all the best LUTs if you're a production person. Doesn't have all the best filters or transitions or whatever, but it's just someone's footage. You get a sense of who they are. They explain themselves, what happened. They show their, like in Maddy Nutt's video, her like funny friends. You know, that's good stuff. That's what we want to see.
Yeah, my theory is that all the Eurogravel privateers, they all have better taste in music and they've probably watched more Criterion collection films like in their lifetime.
Hmm.
So they
Of
just have a
course.
more artful taste, point of view as well. Even VC, let's get it.
Yeah, it looks less like a commercial than a lot of the ones here. Well, the ones here are trying to look like either Drive to Survive, or like an ESPN like short form documentary. But yeah, the VC. What did you think about the VC Let's Get It video?
I mean, how many times can like somebody say they live in Girona is the real thing with his videos.
Yeah, he loves to say that. Um, I think his video is great if you're one of those cycling Luddites. The people who are like super anti electronic shifting, like anti having the nice computer. The people who are still like, oh, I just have the printout, the turn by turn printouts, like people like that. Because you just have to reference his video because it seemed like he had a terrible time. I mean, races are hard, but his just seemed like really not great. And it was all like, he wasn't feeling well, then he was feeling well or whatever, but his DI2, his electronic shifting stopped working. Um his Wahoo or whatever it is he has stopped working. Yeah, I mean, if you it's just like, just see that and you're like, you know what? See, I told you so. I told you you don't need any of that stuff. My
Yeah.
my my SRAM rival, cable actuated. That's never gonna break down. So yeah, maybe you're right.
Yeah, I mean, definitely some very watchable content, on the spectrum of gravel content, I'd say. But there's just too many jokes in there. Like, what team is he on or something? Like, it's just back to the, like, I can't even tell how good anyone is or if they're a pro, but as long as their video's good, I'm happy to follow along.
Yeah, he called himself a teammate of Nathan Haas, a Colnago teammate. So it's like, if I get a Trek, I can call myself Paige Onweller's teammate?
I think that's what big gravel, that's the eventual goal of like everybody being on some sort of team. Because additionally, I thought Nathan Haas was on the Castelli SOG team.
Right. So now everyone is on like three different teams. Depending on who's doing the recce ride that day, depends on what team you're on.
Maybe
Is it the
that's like
Cask Helmet, the Castelli, the Canyon, the Colnago?
what's the Hit Squad, Trek Driftless. What else we got?
Our
Felt
favorite,
Felt
Paz
United,
Racing,
Paz
Felt
Racing.
United.
I mean, I just feel like MAAP needs to get in the game. Like I know they have some kits, but they need their own dedicated stupid team name for me to
I
really.
think they do have one because I think I on the account, I think I talked to some people who are in it and it's just like MAP Pro riders. But I had to deduce that or I accidentally found that out or something by seeing a results page. I need to confirm that. Can I get on that one? Can I
I
be
mean,
the VC Let's Get It of the MAAP team? And then, I'm
I
down
feel
for
like
that. I'll do it.
your future, the way Lachlan Morton's on EF, it's like I think the next wave of like privateers who aren't good at cycling. No offense, like you'll be the meme admin on like Trek Driftless or something. Like
So
just
the way Lachlan Morton goes off and rides like across Australia for a couple weeks or whatever, it's like while EF is in the Giro, right? So then it'll be Trek Driftless riding at BWRs and all the lifetime races, and then it'll be me like riding my adventures of our tertiary cities greenbelt system.
or like Gravel Earth Mexico, or you'll go to North Dakota, or wherever the hell those like niche races are, and it'll just be like, yeah, she's just got a story to tell, and that's all that matters to our team. It's not just about winning and performance. We're so much more. We're really tapped into the spirit of gravel.
Dude, I feel even this past week was like a story to tell. We kind of had our like there was ups, there was downs, there was like hope, you know?
I mean, that's life on a bike. I think the real thing is, let's see, how many days Unbound is in 20 days from now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're in your Unbound block. Like, where's your mindset? What are you trying to
So my
do each week? What's going on?
so yeah, I don't know if I'm going to Unbound. I don't know if I had like made that clear. I got into Unbound. I
Dude, it,
referenced the meme account in my quote unquote application. I don't know if that helped or hurt my chances or if it mattered at all. Who knows? Doing the Unbound 100, my first ever century. I've never even done a road century. It's just like I got things to do. I haven't been out. I want to come back home at some point. I'm not out here riding centuries every day. But this will be my first one. The cool thing is I've definitely been kind of nervous, but lately, for whatever reason, I've been like running into some kind of old heads that have done it before, like local cyclists. I was doing a training ride last weekend and ran into some of them, and they're like, "You ever done a century before?" And I was like, "Nah." And these people had did it last year, maybe previous years. Unbound, I mean, they've done. And they asked, "Have you ever done a century before?" I'm like, "Nah, but I've done like a bunch of 100Ks. I've like ridden most I've ever ridden has been on gravel is like in the 75, 77 mile range I've ridden before." And they're just like, "Oh, you're good. You'll be fine." I've heard that a few times, and like I feel like the last month it's like, "Oh, you'll be fine." So then I'm just like, "Oh, I'll be fine." Obviously, you know, I write a lot for me, and I'm taking care to have like the ice socks ready. Like that's also the good thing about some of these videos is that like my parents being my crew, I can send them these videos and they get obviously my rolling into the aid station is not going to be the quote unquote F1 style pit stop, but you do get a sense of like what needs to be there or something. So, I'm taking the time to be dialed in, but I'm also not freaking out or pretending I'm gonna do like VO2 max intervals and my Unbound block. I mean, my Unbound block started kind of this past week. I had two days of like riding like I don't know. I feel like close to 50 miles, like 2 days in a row, which is like not a lot, but also like decent for just like normie. And then I crashed Tuesday night, Tuesday afternoon with you.
you
Yeah, that I
crash
mean,
because of me, or um,
I did. You said it. I said with you. You said because of you. Are you projecting? No. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll put the video of me tipping over. It was look. It wasn't anyone's fault. It was just hostile urban architecture when your greenbelt trail has to cross a busy stroad.
we were literally
Uh,
in like Section 8 housing, like truly
yeah.
like some of the oldest like essentially projects like in
Yeah, yeah,
probably
yeah.
our
The
state, and
courts,
like
yeah.
just it's
Mhm.
places built of cinder blocks that they can't even put things on the wall. It's just very, I mean, it's a rough part of town, but it's like, a green belt goes by there and it's like we're just zooming along, some of the few surviving the dogs and the like the I'm sure other cities have green belt systems where it's not perfect, so you have to just cross a road or go to like a crosswalk, and this one was just one where there was no protection, and
There
I
was no
didn't.
protection and it kind of just like ends abruptly, I guess. Like you just sort of turn and then you're supposed to go. And there's no easing into it. And so I was following you because you're more familiar with this part of our trail system than I am. And but we're also two people that aren't I would say like how would you put it? We're two people that aren't like tried and true group riders. Like we're solo heads for the most part. And so we're not out here calling every little thing out. And also, I mean, you're not out here being that like stopping, stopping. All right, like, hand signals. This is not who we are, you know. I mean, if
Yeah.
you're in a group, yeah, you have to do this stuff. But also like we don't lead the group, so, But I was you kind of stopped and started, but for good reason, because someone ran a stop sign or something. Like if you had went, we would have died. I was also not, I was just watching your feet and not paying attention. Um, had a little like, stop, start, tip over. I hadn't had a little spill like that in like years. I mean, I have crashed, but not just kind of like of an awkward, like your brain doesn't like forget, like your brain kind of like glitches for a second,
Can
kind
you
of fall.
talk about your pedals and your footwear for a little bit?
uh, So I have bikes that were better suited to the way we were riding that afternoon, but I did want to ride my uh Unbound bike, the bike I'm taking, my Salsa Warbird that I wanted to get. So you just got an Insta 360 and I wanted to get sort of some footage maybe for potential doxing myself, admin reveal purposes. I have the arrow chainring now that I wanted to get video of. Very shallow in this way, just like wanted to show cool stuff. But so I was writing, and then I thought, well, I don't need to take like. Also, I was walking around. I was like at your house all afternoon, and we were gonna be walking around, whatnot. So I wore the worst possible shoes you could cycle in, the Velo Sambas. They suck. No, I mean they're all right, I guess. Um, I was wearing those. I don't know. They kept clipping in, and I don't wear them that often, the Velo Sambas. And I think I clipped in when I didn't mean to clip in that moment. Like the shoe went in. The cleat like went into the pedal, and like it wasn't supposed to be, or something. And but yeah, time pedals, those Velo Sambas. Yeah. I wasn't wearing MAAP bibs, thank God. Because the shorts I was wearing, they did like rip a bit. Thank God I wasn't wearing MAAP bibs. I was wearing MAAP socks though, and I kept having to wipe the blood off my knee because it was starting to drip down into the white socks. So I kept having to bend down to wipe the blood off my knee so it wouldn't get on my socks. But
You
I mean,
haven't
all in all, it was just go on.
you haven't watched the GCN video, The Problem with Velo Sambas?
No, maybe I should have. Velos, I mean, well, I'm not going to get into the politics of Velosambas. They're fine shoes if you like them. I know cool people that ride Velosambas, and I know cool people that want Velosambas. Um, but I don't know if they're for me. I don't know. I think if I'm not riding like actual clipless shoes, my Shimano shoes, I think I should just maybe be on flat pedals. I think. is the move. I mean, you ride flat pedals and you rip, so it's like
Yeah, I
who
mean,
really cares? And then people, there's always that thing, and it's a very Reddit point, but you do see people on Reddit being like, the science says that flat pedals are just as fast as clipless. That's all. People love to say that.
yeah, I have watched a GCN video where they do a clipless versus flat pedal. I'm not even joking, but it's like
No,
that's where
yeah,
that's
I
where
know
the
you're not.
wormhole gets you. But I don't know. I think just feeling comfortable when it's like we live in a sketchy world, and like I don't know. It's that's the exact type of scenario where I don't want to be clipped in, but it only happens once every 200 times or something.
Right. No, exactly. The next time I rode, so I didn't ride for 2 days. Well, we kept riding that day because I was like, well, Maddy Nutt finished the Traka 360 with like her arm detached from her shoulder. So I can ride for another, what did we ride for? Like 15 miles that day with my knee scraped up and bleeding. It was fine. But it was a little swollen, so I didn't ride for like a day and a half. And then when I did ride again, I was riding my mom's gravel bike that she doesn't really ride that often. It has flat pedals. And so I rode that from my neighborhood to your neighborhood for like a community gathering at a friend's house. And I rode down, uh, more dangerous than Traka single track, riding down American suburban to urban stroads for 7 miles. So
I
I
mean,
did that.
we're talking like 9 lanes at some points of this, and like crossing. It used to be a highway, and it's just insane. Like you cross a significant loop as well. It's just a very very crazy ride.
It is, and you feel crazy. And I did it during the day, like a Friday afternoon, and then I did it at night. Um, Different vibes. It's like I'm very familiar with the area, so it's like not that that'll keep me from dying, but I can feel the vibes of the drivers and know when to hop on the curb and hop off. You know that guy, Terry Berenson, he does the hotline videos or what they're called. He's the guy that follows people while they're riding their fixies through Manhattan. You've seen those, right?
Oh yeah, it's like degenerates that like don't have a helmet and are like riding through
Right.
parking garages and banging on car hoods and like screaming at
Yeah, yeah,
people.
yeah.
Like,
And they're
I mean, it's
exactly
great.
and the
And
no, yeah, it's cool. It's that's like also kind of like GCN, and I'm not his content isn't like GCN, but it is a very like early days getting into the hobby YouTube channel that you come across is like the Terry B Hotline video series. But he does mostly follow people when he makes these videos in urban centers. So they're riding through Manhattan, they're riding through Mexico City, they're riding through Tokyo. Um, he needs to follow me riding down this suburban to urban stroad because that's just as dangerous um, and just as crazy. Uh,
it's the type of
but I
thing
am
at
wearing a helmet and I'm not.
the type of thing at the party where like you're leaving and people are like, "I swear I can drive you home." Like it wouldn't be a
Yeah,
problem to
yeah,
drive you home.
yeah. And then it is actually like much like how when as like being a woman when you're out and about and your friends are like, text me when you get home so I know you're not murdered or something. It's just like me, it's like people are saying like text the group chat when you get home so we know you didn't die.
So
I
that
didn't
some
die.
like some truck that's going to a bar doesn't just like run you over and like never look back, and then there's like a local news story of you dying, and it's like there's just some shitty like a traffic light video of some Dodge Ram, like
Right, you
and you're
just the blinking lights of the cop cars there, and then like the body sheet over, and it's like, God damn it! I was about to say my name. God damn it, Holy Spirit of gravel.
She really thought that she was a gravel celeb, and that's why she did this. Like it just went too far.
Do you have the password to the account? I need to give it to you. That way you can log in and be like, bad news. It finally happened. For like my
I don't
I'm
know.
sorry guys. Please send your well wishes to and then it's or like my dad trying to sell my bikes. That's how everyone will find out when all my bikes start ending up on Facebook Marketplace. They're like, "Oh no. What happened?"
It'll be funnier if there is no post and that's just people in like 2 years being like, miss this account so much on like some of your early memes.
Yeah. Man,
Who's
some of
still
those early ones are really good and have like 20 likes. You should go back to scroll down. I haven't posted that many times, so you can scroll down pretty easily and find them.
who's still here in 2032? Shit still hits.
Exactly. But no, I mean, it also depends when you ride in places like there's times when you can do it and times when you absolutely cannot do it. I think whenever I left was about the latest I'd ride because then people will start leaving bars and then it's like game over. You cannot ride on those roads when it's like people starting to leave bars. Um, the funny thing about that, and tire heads might find this interesting, I was riding S-Works Pathfinders in 42 for this ride. Those tires are so nice, man. They're very supple, and I had them because I this is essentially a commuter. My mom's old gravel bike I use as a commuter bike, and it has those tires. They ride like road tires. I don't even know if they make them anymore. I don't think they do because now they have the new line of specialized tires. But the S-Works Pathfinders in 42 are great for stroad riding. Jumping on the
Dude,
curb, jumping off, the random piece of like all the glass on the road, like uh like foam cups from gas stations, just like random like sand when you have to like ride through like a parking lot or something. There's just like sand for some reason. I don't know. Road,
you
all
can
this debris.
you can bunny hop a bumper that you're just like, how did this just fall off and someone leave it here? And you're like, well, I guess I'll bunny hop it like a Euro gravel influencer is riding behind me with a Insta 360.
Right, yeah. The hop, the skids, they love doing those skids, man. Way to ruin your tires. Nice work. Um, as a fixie head that used to skid a lot. Also, the interesting thing about that ride is I didn't have my Wahoo with me. I just left the house without it because I was getting on that bike and the Wahoo thing had been taken off to put on another bike and I didn't want to deal with putting it on and I didn't care to like start my Strava on my phone or what I've done before is carry around my Wahoo in like a pocket, but I was like, I'm good. Let's get back to the true roots. Let's just ride without a Wahoo. We'll survive. And it's actually better. You actually like look at things. You don't until you ride without a bike computer, you realize like how much you look at it for absolutely pointless information. There was nothing to look at for this ride I was doing. Excuse me. Very happy to ride without a Wahoo. I need to do it more often.
Can you really be in an unbound block if you're riding without a bike computer?
I think I think my Unbound block, I think I found I don't know, there's something there about my Unbound block kind of going awry and then me getting back to the true soul of the sport. Riding
Dude,
down stroads to go to my friend's house, no Wahoo, hopping curbs.
I actually came up with like a business model that I'm like half not joking about for you. Essentially, it's you become a coach. You know, all these coaches just have websites with various plans, but you're a vibe driven coach. So it's like, it's for people who don't actually like need to be good at cycling, but they just they are kind of just buying a friend to like vent about their ride, which I think you're very good at. But you just be like,
So
yeah,
like a
just
swagger coach, if you will.
dude,
Like,
exactly. It's just like
remember when Justin Bieber had a swagger coach?
exactly, but it's like vibe instead of FTP. It's like functional threshold vibes. It's like, yeah, I just got to get you riding more. Maybe get on a stroad this week and like listen to like a shitty cycling podcast on your trainer and like then like go get on like the top 10 of a segment and like we'll call that a good week even though you did not get better at cycling. You had fun or something. Like I honestly think that'd be good for people.
Yeah, I mean, like, too many people listen to pros when they really have nothing to offer them. And even when it comes to stuff like nutrition, I mean, a lot of that is just selling whatever. When it's just like, just put some sugar and some lime juice in a bottle, some salt,
So
just drink that, just ride around, get vibes. I
we're
mean, that's how you learn bike handling skills, like going in and out of, road furniture, uh,
drainage ditch
curbs.
greenways.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, we'll set the website up, but if you want to get exclusive access, direct message
Yeah,
at
DM
Holy
me.
Spirit of Gravel. And this is just the eventual thing where we do a YouTube series like about like the people we're training, and it's just like very funny.
Yeah, someone rode one too many times on like the urban Wednesday night, Thursday night roadie hitter coded group rides, and I'm just like disappointed in them. It's like, you
Are
know
you
what? I know you have what it takes. I just need you to believe in yourself.
are you tired of watching GCN videos to figure out your bike setup? Why don't you talk to Holy Spirit of Gravel and she'll just probably give you good advice and you'll feel good about it.
Remember when you came over to my house and we were putting my old tires on the wheel set my dad sold you? And I was like, "Oh," and they were hard to put on, and I was like, "You have to do that thing where you put the tire bed, you squeeze it," or I don't even remember what I said, but it worked. That's like a tip, and you were like, "We need to make a short about that." Holy Spirit of Gravel tips. Just a tip. It always works.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's it's just easier to talk shit about Euro gravel influencers than it is to like sell bikes. So who knows?
What are your early takes on the Insta 360 that you got? My GoPro feels so irrelevant now that we've been playing around with that for a couple days.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty. I feel just like I feel this way about bike things too. Of like everything overperforms more than you need. So like when you're doing a deep dive on any
Right,
specs,
yeah.
it's like you don't like you just go to Reddit and it's like it gets so hot or like it's the battery life it claims it's 87 minutes and it only made it 63 in 8K and you're just like yeah, I mean the video of you riding your shitty greenway probably isn't that important. So I don't know. I do think it's a game changer for cycling content for sure. Just especially if you're viewing the like personal narratives, like VC Let's Get It aesthetic, or I don't know. Does VC Adventures use one? Um,
No, I think
there's that
he's I
guy.
think he's I think he's a GoPro head. But
Yeah,
yeah.
there's the guy Shreddy Pendergrass in Los Angeles, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, that
like
guy.
like doing the interview style thing. I don't know. There are cool things that people are doing with it,
I mean,
and
even just the first
um,
day we rode with it, or I rode with you with it. You've ridden with it. You had ridden with it, but like we got my crash. You even see the car that runs the stop sign and and me like
yeah. I mean,
scraping my knee off. of course, in that crash, you see that I fall in like the patch of refuse. There was like there was clean concrete to the left and right of where I fell, and my knee directly hits like some black shit or something. Okay, cool. But we got that. We immediately when we
Yeah,
rode back to your house afterwards, first thing you did, I was cleaning my wound, and you were already like editing, like getting it to turn around, like right when I. It was great. It's like it was
yeah. I
awesome. I've
mean,
shown that video to a bunch of people in the last couple of days.
pretty great workflow, and it's just it's just another tool. It's like I was watching an Elon Musk interview on Fox News, um, and he said that seeing people driving cars physically would soon seem as out of place as like if you saw somebody riding a horse in a buggy, with self-driving cars. So basically what I think is that eventually every bicycle will have an Insta360 and some sort of bike computer on it. And that's just going to be completely normal. We're going to be filming everything at all times, and it's all going to shift for you as well.
Right. Yeah. I just want to disagree with it because you just said Elon Musk,
Yeah,
but your spin on it is
I'm trying to gaslight
your spin on it serves.
I'm trying to gaslight your European followers. Like, there's like this one really conservative guy on the podcast that I really hate.
Man, he's just joking, people.
I hope
He's
I
just
hope
joking.
I hope those people don't start coming to race our gravel in Europe. Like, and then
Man.
I'm just like, yeah, how does a European like citizenship work? Like, can you really be born in England and live in Girona? That just doesn't seem right to me.
I thought Brexit, they're not allowed to do that. That's like punishment for them. They used to be able to, but now they're not. But
Dude,
I guess
can you put privateer on your work visa?
and especially like what does VC Let's Get It put on his Spanish work visa? Or does he do the thing where even I've done this before when I was spending time out in England, like where you leave the country and come back because you have to get a new stamp because the stamp only lasts, I say only, but the stamp lasts like what 60, 90 days. So you leave, you take a quick trip, quick flight over to Poland and then come back. You can only get away with it so many times. Spain might be more lax. England immigration, like at Heathrow, oof, they can be brutal. They can be brutal. I mean, probably as bad as it gets here in the States. Like they can be pretty brutal. But the Insta360, with the video of me crashing, maybe I can content mine that and we'll create drama between us. And I can kind of make it into like, I mean, you saw Payson's video, and his crash is kind of like the feature moment in that video.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of the greatest moments captured in gravel cycling history, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I mean, credit to his wife feeling comfortable putting that on there of her moments of panic and like vulnerability, you know, like thinking it was her fault. Um yeah, that was awesome. It's a great video.
Yeah, truly.
Oh, now, so Chase Work, if you're still listening, now you can stop your max effort 40 minutes later after I said. Did you see
Yeah,
the Alexei Vermeulen video?
I haven't clicked on it yet, to be honest. I feel like he had a BWR video, and I feel like I need to click on that one.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So the one I'm talking about is his like Unbound prep video, and
Okay.
he's answering people's questions. I just saw that one earlier today, and I, but I don't even know why I asked because I can't tell you what was. I was very distracted by the use of licensed music. He has they have some interesting choices. Alexi and Avery do on the licensed music, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It does kind of take you out because you're just used to hearing whatever royalty free music people put in. So that kind of took me out a bit. And then the scratch guy was like moto pacing. which is fun. I know you're gonna have an opinion on that, so I can't wait till you see it. But that's like what I remember is that there was licensed music and that the Scratch Labs guy was moto pacing for the group that was writing.
As long as the scratch guy goes even more into cycling and gravel and stops giving things to run club, I support scratch. Just no more
Hmm.
run clubs.
It was great at that neighborhood party. I was kind of selling gravel to people just by talking because I showed up on that bike and people just wanted to, you know, it's a nice bike, my mom's old gravel bike that I rode in on. And of course everyone goes like, "You rode here?" Because you, the road, the area, and then yeah, and then it's like, us there's a gravel race in our region. Well, they've kind of stopped because it gets too hot where we live to ride. And then they start up again around October. And so there's one coming up, and I was like, yeah, let's do that one together. I think we're going to turn it into it's its own race, but we might do one of the distances and turn it into like a Holy Spirit of gravel group ride.
Yeah, I feel like you try to get everyone into gravel, and like it's a very low conversion rate based on what's required: a gravel bike,
Oh
driving
yeah,
to the
no, of
middle of
course.
nowhere.
But
But
there is an attraction there, I think, that people, even me riding to the coffee shop in my MAAP on a gravel bike, it's like I don't even then I if I don't even talk about it, there is like, huh, that looks cool. There's wide tires on a bike that looks like a road bike. Sometimes that's all you need to do, but I don't know. There and then when people see someone normal and then you talk about racing and it doesn't have this sort of culty sheen that like a run club has. The clothes are a bit better. It's like you can just ride with, flat pedals and some shorts and a t-shirt.
and you're
I
you're
think
just
I think
like,
there is something there that's it is less accessible in that it's so much more expensive and asks more of you in that way. But also like I do think people like what people want to do a race, want to say they've done a race and want to do it just to do it. And gravel does provide that. It's not like asking someone to do like, oh, let's do a crit. It's like, no, no, I'm good. I'm not going to do that. But like doing a gravel race, you could, just start in the back and just cruise. And you raced.
yeah, you just found a guy who was like a mountain biker, and you're just like, yeah, this one's an easy one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know when to adopt, but yeah, people were asking. I had my scab in like full view, my knee, my skinned slash scabbed knee. A child told me I needed to put a band-aid on it. They were kind of disturbed, maybe.
Yeah, so I mean, Unbound. If you have any advice for Holy Spirit of Gravel, feel free to send unsolicited advice with what you would do leading 20 days out of Unbound.
If I think it's terrible advice, I'll just respond by saying haha. And if I think it's good advice, I'll engage in conversation with you. We'll say that.
Why are you telling me what to do? I'm a vibes coach.
Dude, the vibes will be, I mean, I'm sure the vibes will be great. I don't see why they wouldn't be. But I've never been to something of that scale before. I mean, is there anything of that scale? Traka? But normies don't go to Euro gravel races. You're not allowed to go to a Euro gravel race if you paid for your bike. You could only go if you didn't pay for your bike. If your bike was provided to you, yeah, that's the barrier to entry. In the States, you just have to be willing to shell out for this insane hobby.
Dude, all this talk of cameras makes me want to start using that drone that I picked up in Catalonia.
Yeah, let's do it next time we're riding through the sketchy greenbelt system with hostile urban design. Or have it do that thing where it tracks me riding down the dangerous suburban to urban stroad. Um, yeah, that'll be good. Can you control it uh from Texas all the way in Kansas? Is that technology? When like you're so unfamiliar with the stuff, you're just like, can you do that though? Can you Wi-Fi Bluetooth your way in and control it from a completely different state? I mean, the military industrial complex has that technology. I don't know if it's reached us yet. Speaking of the military, let's talk about the real heroes in this story. Cargo bike moms.
Yeah, it seems like you've got a lot of cargo bike mom fans.
Yeah, who knew? I love our cargo bike moms. If these things had existed when I was a child, maybe I'd be in the Women's World Tour right now. I don't know. But they are the true bravest people, taking their pride and joy out on roads without the protection of a vehicle. Yeah, they're awesome. The true like change you wish to see in the world. A cargo bike mom. Like they're actually living. We always say we want better, more walkable spaces, bike lanes, this and that. And they're just out there doing it.
Yeah, bad news, the bike lanes aren't coming, but
No,
you can
not in
still
our lifetime.
you can still get your kid a $90 helmet, you know. Just do what you got to do. I support it.
Yeah, we love our cargo bike moms. We love
You're
any mom that rides.
you're never too young for MIPS.
That's what they say. Sweet Protection. That's the newest trendy helmet brand on the block. I mean, it's been around, but that's the at first it was like the cool POC helmet. Now it's Sweet Protection.
Dude, speaking of gravel moms, I'm going to look up on YouTube right now. GCN balance bikes. Like how deep is their content? Well, dude, 2 years ago, tips for buying kids bikes. Everything you need to know about buying kids bikes. Then how to, dude, teach your kid to ride a bike. How to ride a balance bike. 11 years ago, 831K views. Like it's crazy, man. Content.
Man, I love riding with my mom, but not when she uses my water bottles.
The
You know?
I wonder, like, there's got to be a point where they're making carbon balance bikes for kids, just for like,
Oh, they do. They have that already.
it
They have
really.
that. That yes, that is a thing. There's like the S Works balance bike. That is a thing.
You know, your dad's bike is worth like 12K if you have a carbon balance bike.
I mean, I think it's $1,000, the Hot Walk Carbon. Um, yeah, this is just a gravel bike or a balance bike.
Dude, that's just where your account's going to go. It's going to be like 10 best balance bikes for Minneapolis cargo moms in
And
20
that actually
twenty
is
twenty eight.
the best performing content I will have ever had.
Thanks so much for this thorough review.
I don't know, dude. The geo on this balance bike, the stem is too short. Can't get the saddle high enough. Actually, there's got to be a balance bike that is more performance oriented geo than this.
Like a GCN video that's like how to like mold your child's body to be as aerodynamic as Remco Evenepoel.
Yeah, start by giving your child, I don't know, blockers so they stay small or something. Don't let them grow. Isn't that Remco's thing? Like he's a small guy.
Yeah, wasn't that the narrative? He was like in the Barcelona academy or one of the like Belgian
Oh yeah,
teams,
yeah, yeah.
and he was too
The
small.
Antwerp team or something, and he was like small and then like tore something. Cycling was like the only sport left he could do.
He could have been the Landon Donovan of Belgium, just like Landon Donovan jokes.
Oh wow, that's a deep cut sports crossover joke.
He could have been
I don't
part of
even know
the
who that guy is.
the Belgian generation. Wasn't that a thing in soccer?
The golden era of the Belgian team. Yeah.
I I feel like for like a couple World Cups, everyone was like, "Don't sleep on Belgium," but then they never kind of.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was like Eden Hazard, De Bruyne, who else was on that team? Like Company, Vincent Company. Who was the striker? I can't remember. Belgium. I mean, that's like a thing with Matthew Vanderpool. That they say that like that's why someone threw that bottle at his head was because Belgians hate him or something like that because he's like he's he is actually Belgian, but he rides for the Netherlands. I felt like I saw that somewhere. Don't know how true it is.
Did you have anything to say about what is it? Is the women's Giro or Vuelta?
Giros. Or no, the Vuelta just happened. Sorry, the men's Giro just started. The women's
Right. That's
Vuelta.
what confused me. Like, what is? I just I don't know. It's just such a crazy schedule, but I know you enjoy watching the femmes, if you will.
Of course. Oh yeah, I do. I mean, I do find it. I do. It's women cycling. I mean, for all the disparities that there are in funding and coverage and this, that, and the other, it's still like a great product. And there's less races, so they all race each other all the time. Whereas in the men's, it's like Jonas and Pogacar aren't going to meet each other till the tour. Where like Demi Vollering, Anna van der Breggen, Kasia, Puck, they've been riding together almost every single race. It's great.
Dude, there's a video that State Bikes made. I don't know if you've watched it, but Matteo Jorgensen rides a
Oh,
fixie.
yeah, that got fed to me and I haven't seen it. No, wait, he's riding a fixie?
Yeah, they're riding up a
Is
mountain,
that
and
what's
it's
happening?
actually. I feel like it's very, an interesting guy, but very Holy Spirit of gravel, in my opinion. Where even Matteo Jorgensen drops the phrase "mentally ill," and I'm like, okay, I can. This makes me want to ride a state bike. I think
Wait, does he really?
he really does. I think I really think the cycling lexicon is being impacted by your work. Like I think,
Someone, did I tell you this? Someone messaged me asking if they could put gravel normie on a jersey. If they could get my permission. I was like, you gotta tag me in it, man. I was like, please get that. That's crazy. That's awesome. I support it. No, no, no. Okay. I remembered now. It wasn't gravel normie. They wanted to put mid pack normie. Okay, maybe that changes the story, but they still wanted my permission. It's like I didn't invent the word normie, maybe in just cycling circles, but yeah. And then I was like, mid pack normie, gruppetto normie, gravel normie. I don't know. People like these words.
man, this is just feeding my desire to make the unified cycling NPC theory. Like how many people that cycle are NPCs and how to know if you are one. And, being a mid pack normie and being self aware about it, I don't think you're an NPC, but I don't know. Being a mid pack normie and wearing like the red Rafa shirt, like you might be an
The red Rafa
NPC.
shirt. Yeah. We need to post
Just
that meme.
the one stripe on like the arm, and you're just like, yeah, sort of
Something,
the
I mean, that red Rafa jersey is so damn red.
it's sort of like driving like a Mazda 3 or like a Toyota Corolla or something. You're just like, yeah, you might be an NPC. I don't know.
Dude, someone's gonna clip what we just said and they're gonna be like, that's when Holy Spirit of Gravel podcast jumped the shark. Just clip the audio of me saying that red jersey is so red.
I mean, well, the real issue is that if you go on the Pas Normal website and look at their red jersey, it's actually pink.
Yeah, it's like salmon colored or something. I think I have the use of the color salmon correctly. It's like red pink. Why can't you buy like a brown Pas Normal? Maybe you can. One day we're
Man,
gonna have a podcast. Maybe when we get in like the true doldrums of gravel, we'll just have a podcast that's like we'll screen share instead of me putting GoPro video. Which, by the way, the GoPro video that's going to go behind this episode is going to be from the ride on our green belt that I crashed on. So at some point you'll just see the GoPro just fall to the side. That'll be when I crashed. Um, yeah, one day we'll have an episode where it's just screen shared and just me looking at Kit and seeing what I would get, but won't because it's $500. I can buy a Pont Normal speed suit, but it's not brown, so I don't want it.
Man, do you think they're gonna sell Pause Racing replica kits to the general public?
Dude, that's what I would want. Oh, here's a brown one, light brown, but it's not the Paz Racing. I mean, there was a minute where MAAP was selling jerseys from the MAAP people. Like Haley Smith had her own jersey and Finsty had his own jersey. Remember that?
Yeah, that
And they
was
were,
awesome.
they
Dude,
were
didn't
cool.
like the Jayco team copy Finstey's jersey, in my opinion.
That was the narrative you were trying to push. Yeah. I mean, it is inspired by his. Can I still find it? It's been like they're not selling him anymore. Finsty's jersey. That won't come up if I just type that in. I don't know why. Oh, because it thinks I'm trying to say finest jersey. Russell Finsterwald's MAAP jersey. I mean, his is a little more blue,
His
but
was more vibey for sure.
for sure, for sure. But as far as like world tour goes, the MAAP one is pretty peak. It's pretty great. It's pretty great. But I mean, if I was out here buying jerseys uh that were this expensive, I'd get the privateer series. I also like how they didn't put their actual names because maybe they'd think people would go, "Who is that?" They just put their initials, like HSRF. Oh yeah, Rosa Closer had one.
Speaking of custom suits, there's another Rule 9 like Dylan Johnson video. Did you watch that one?
Oh,
It's like
Rule 28.
Rule 28, yeah, Rule 69. I don't fucking know.
You see that video, and there's that guy, like the owner of Rule, like the founder of Rule 28, and it's like he looks kind of young to be the founder or something, and they're in the Silverstone speed tunnel, wind tunnel, I mean, which is also the Silverstone testing facility is like they screwed over GCN by letting them test a completely flawed um, test of pedals or shoes or whatever. But anyway, they're these guys are at Silverstone. Dylan Johnson is testing all his helmets and tires, whatever else. And yeah, there's that guy, and there's that clip of him like giving Dylan Johnson the results, and Dylan Johnson's like, "Oh wow, okay, my helmet is actually the slowest one. Oh, okay, wow." And then you're just like, "Is this guy Dylan Johnson's boss technically, or like who is this guy?" The Rule 28 founder.
Dude, the Rule 28 founder is like a Dylan Johnson stan who has like sold his family's home to start a company to just be like, well, if maybe if I buy some time at the Silverstone wind tunnel, maybe I could hang out with Dylan Johnson and he'll be my friend and he'll tell me how I can be faster on my bike.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then it's like to make it look less obvious that I'm such a fanboy, we have to get another guy on the team too. And that's where Adam Roberge comes in. But then you get great whenever you get the two of those guys together, like you get great banter with them. Like and I'm even saying just like in person, I've like hung out with them, I guess you could. I mean, I don't know if you put it as hanging out, but I've been doing some vibes based coaching, you know. And yeah, they're great together. If you're ever at a race and you have no shame or something, go up to them if you can find them together, especially because they're a good time. Those two guys.
All I'm hearing is that you want the Bonk Bros to break up and the Roberge Dylan Johnson podcast.
No, dude, as long as Bonk Bros keeps doing what they're doing, our podcast sounds so much better in comparison. You know, just like Chase Work said, you lose way less brain cells when you listen to our podcast as opposed to Bonk Bros. And all I'm gonna say is, did Bonk Bros ever have only two guys on the podcast? before the Holy Spirit of Gravel podcast started. I don't know. You might have to go into the archives for that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait to see how Chase Work does it Unbound before I'm really like taking his praise. I'm just, you know, like is he a one season wonder or is it for real? You know, it's just hard to know.
Man, dude, the Palace. Remember when Rafa was doing those Palace collab drops? I don't think they've done it for a couple years. I just went on my eBay right now, and I guess I like wish listed one or something, and it just came up men's extra large. So that's obviously would never in a million years fit me, but it is $905
On eBay,
on eBay. Brand new in the bag. $905 for Palace X Rafa EF Education First Pro Team Training Jersey Black Men's XL. But because you said Rafa is NPC coded now, no one's
I
gonna
mean,
buy it.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, the real question I have is why do we keep seeing pictures of a guy like in an Ineos kit riding around our city?
Was that the same guy that is that the same guy that rides around in a Legion of Los
I don't,
Angeles kit?
I don't know. I think I've seen that guy, and there's just a certain brand of person that like wears the replica kits. Like I'm never not intrigued by somebody wearing a Jumbo Visma EF or
There's a
you know,
guy in my area of the Greenbelt Trails that rides a Jumbo Visma, the red kit, which is the Vuelta GC leader. So he has the Jumbo Visma Vuelta GC leader. So I guess he's like the biggest Sepp Kuss stan. And he's nice though. He waves at me every time. I think we recognize each other. And he waves at me. He is a Trek. I know that much. He should
that's
be
pretty
on
funny.
a Cervelo actually, if he's a true Jumbo head. He should be on a Cervelo. I like how he doesn't because I see him when I ride multiple days in a row. I'll see him like every day as well wearing that same jersey. So either he has many or he wears, I'll assume he washes it or something, but he doesn't space it out. Maybe he has a bunch and he's not worried about that one getting worn out. I don't know, because I mean, you don't see me wearing my closer jersey every day. Just kidding, I don't have one, but
Dude,
I want one.
remember after Sepp Kuss won and he went back to Durango and had to like do the whole community parade and stuff, and he just looked so tired. That was like the funniest thing.
Do you remember like the comparison between Jonas he looked like the leader of the free world, like on some balcony, um, waving to like the Copenhagen masses, and then there's Sepp Kuss, and he's waving like in the back of the truck to like 12-year-old mountain bikers. I mean, cycling in America, it's great.
It's just, it's just a shame Sepp wasn't slightly worse and we could be celebrating him as a gravel privateer these days. It's the real shame of everything.
More people in America might know who he was. He'd have his MAAP jersey that it wouldn't say Sepp Kuss, it would just say SK Privateer jersey.
I think he's from South Africa.
Man, that is something that you do hear a lot. Is he Australian or from South Africa?
Oh, I think it's New Zealand.
They come all the way out here? Oh wow, cool, cool.